Good morning, dear all. Welcome back in today's session. So, in previous session, we have discussed lesson number 12, Earth, Sun, and Moon. In that, we have discussed about what is solar system, Earth, what are the layers of Earth, and about Sun. So, today we will discuss about Moon. Now, what is Moon? The Moon is the only natural satellite of the Earth. So, what is natural satellite? You all know that natural satellite is a heavenly body that revolves around a planet, and Moon is the only natural satellite of the Earth. Now, the Moon rotates on its axis and revolves around the Earth. It takes around 27 days to complete one revolution of the Earth. Now, Moon appears to be the brightest object in the night sky, but it is a non-luminous object. Means it does not have its own light. It reflects the light of sun, which is known as moonlight. Now, since the moon is nearer to the earth, it appears to be bigger than the stars, but actually, all the stars and the planets are much bigger than the moon. The moon is about 3,84,440 kilometers away from the earth. Now you can see the moon is also spherical like the sun and the planets. The moon is made up of rocks and has no air on it. The moon is the natural satellite of Earth that revolves around the Earth. Its distance from the Earth is about 3,84,400 kilometers. Now we have also seen that it does not have its own light. It does not have its own light. It only reflects the light of sun. Now we'll talk about the surface of moon. Now the surface of moon has many craters, lava plains, mountains and valleys. The surface of moon is dry and dusty and is covered with craters, mountains and valleys. The surface of moon is rocky and covered with dust. It has a very thin atmosphere which is almost non-existent, and there is no water on it. Since there is no water, clouds do not form on the moon and there is no rain. It is very hot during the day and freezing cold at night on the moon. Now, how these craters are formed? So, these craters are formed when solid bodies called meteorites crashes into the moon's surface. So, then only these craters are formed. You can see footsteps. So, as the moon has no air or wind, the astronauts' footprints will remain there forever. Okay, the footprints left by the astronauts when they stepped on the moon will remain visible for millions of years because no weathering is seen on the moon. Now we'll talk about the gravity. What is gravity? We all know that gravity is the natural pull exerted by the heavenly body on object. Means each and every planet, each heavenly body, planets have their natural force of attraction towards the center. So similarly, moon has also gravity pull. Okay, moon has also gravitational force. So the gravity on the moon is 1/6 that of the earth, and hence we feel lighter on the moon. 1/6 means if an object weight is 42 kgs, then its weight on the moon will be only 7 kgs. 1/6 from the earth. Okay. Now there is no air or water on the moon, so as such no sound can be heard because sound needs a medium to travel, and that's why we cannot hear anything in the moon. Now we'll talk about the landing on the moon. Who has landed first in the moon? So we all know that Neil Armstrong. And what was the spacecraft used? Apollo 11. This is a Apollo 11. The Apollo 11, the American spacecraft, landed on the moon on 20th July 1916. Who all have gone there? Neil Armstrong, Edwin Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins traveled to the moon in this spacecraft, Apollo 11. Now Armstrong was the first to step out and thus become the first man to set foot on the moon on July 20, 1916. He is a Neil Armstrong. And this person is Edwin Buzz Aldrin. He is the second person to land on the moon. While Michael Collins remained in the spacecraft to keep in touch with the connecting space center on Earth. He didn't landed on the moon. He has not stepped on the moon. He was in the spacecraft only. Phases of the moon. So when the moon revolves around the earth, its shapes appears to change day by day. Daily you would also have seen that its shapes changes. So the day-to-day change in the shape of the moon as seen from the earth are called phases of the moon. So only one phase that we see is lit, the other is always in darkness. Okay, now we will talk about one by one about each phases. Now first comes the new moon. A new moon is when the moon has the lit surface opposite to the earth, or you can say when the moon is in between the earth and sun, we cannot see the moon at all, and this is called new moon. It is dark on the new moon night. Next is the crescent moon. So as the moon moves further, we can see a small sun lit portion of the moon's surface. This is called crescent moon. Next is the half moon. We can also call it first quarter. So in half moon, what happens? When the sun lit portion becomes bigger, we can see half of the moon. It is called half moon. Next comes the gibbous moon. So waxing gibbous moon occurs when the moon is more than the half. When it is more than the half and its shape keeps on increasing, then it is known as waxing gibbous. Then full moon. So when moon reaches the farthest side of the earth from the sun, okay, what happened? When we can see the entire moon lit up. It occurs when the moon is on the opposite side of the earth from the sun. So it is called full moon. Similarly, the moon after the full moon begins to reduce in size. Again, you will find from after full moon it has started to reduce in size. This is called waning of the moon. The waning moon goes through the gibbous, half moon and crescent stage. Okay, what is the meaning of waxing and waning? Waxing means the increasing size of the lighted part. You can see here size is increasing, so these part are known as waxing. And the decreasing size of the lighted part of the moon is called waning. So you can see here waning gibbous, waning crescent, because these are decreasing lighted part, and here it is increasing. So increasing size of lighted part is known as waxing. So you can see waxing crescent, waxing gibbous, because they are increasing. Lighted part is increasing, and here waning means lighted part is decreasing. Now effects of moon. So by the effects of moon, two things occur on earth. First is tide and second one is eclipse. So what are tides? So the regular rising and falling of the level of water in the sea or ocean is called tides. The gravitational pull of the moon causes the rise and fall of tide. Now tides are of two types, low tides and high tides. You can see here low tides. So fall in the water level is called low tide, and what is high tide? Rise in the water level is called high tide. So both low tide and high tides occurs or you can say are caused due to the gravitational pull of the moon. So this is the end of today's session. Do watch the video again, and if you will have any query, we will discuss in the Zoom class. Okay, thank you.